Hello and welcome to Burning Questions, August 18. We're looking at a big Melton card on Saturday night. And I tell you what, it's got one of the best races in it that I've seen in a very long time. It's the Garrards Westburn Grant Free for All. I think Dan Malecki's told me there's about 8 Group 1 winners in this race. So a genuinely cracking field. And I've likened it to the PB Lawrence in the Thoroughbreds. I reckon it's the race where all the good horses are coming back ready to tackle the big spring features. Our 2 special guests today. We'll start with you, Brett Carroll. Really appreciate you joining us and can't wait for your insights, more from a punting point of view than a participant's point of view, but they're the insights that I love. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me on. It's actually a fantastic meeting at Melton tomorrow night. So it should be really entertaining. No Matildas. Matildas are playing, but not quite the viewership to contend with this time, I wouldn't think.
No. One of my friends said, a third place playoff, give me a spell. Just move on, we're out. No one wants to watch it. But good luck to the Matildas. Andy Gath, our other special guest. Really appreciate you jumping on, Andy. You told me you're not heading to cold old Ballarat this evening.
No, I thought I'd go to Marvel instead. Burning Questions been good enough to look after me and give me 2 tickets for the football tonight, so got me out to go to Ballarat tonight. Yeah, for me.
And I think a little voucher to give you a couple of hot dogs while you're down there as well.
That's it. How many I can get down in the whole match.
Looking forward to a couple of selfies with you and whoever you decide to take down. Really appreciate it. Let's get stuck into this big show of Burning Questions. Of course, Melton is where we're focusing all of the big key questions. And the first of our sponsors, they've been a very good sponsor over a long period of time. Falvo Fruits grow top quality table grapes on the farms in Weeman and Liparoo, and working very closely together with Premier Farms Australia. These table grapes are delivered to customers all over the world. Remember, everybody, eating grapes is good for you. Let's start with that cracking race on Saturday night, and that's the Westburn Grant Free for All. The question is, Emma's got a stranglehold on the Westburn Grant, but who do we think will win an epic fast class feature? And it won't make sense to you, but I've got 2 O's on do there, obviously with Rock and Roll Do in the race on Saturday night. We'll start with you, Brett. There's a multitude of different scenarios here. I think MacDam will lead and take a lot of running down. But if that doesn't happen, it changes the race completely. How do you see it?
Unusually, I will disagree with you, Tim. I know that Emma Stewart has got 5 horses in the race, but I think history will show you that at this level, there's no friends amongst each other. They've got some very prominent owners, different owners, and the horses have their own traits. Act Now has led 23 times in races and handed up 0 times. So I just think that's a record that I can't sort of differ with. And of its 19 race wins, it's won 17 from leading. I just don't have any scenario why it would not lead. The only query for me is, as much as I love the horse, it's only won first up once from 6 preparations. So that just, to me, makes me even more confused. It makes it even more of an open race.
Oh, that's rattled me, that. I thought I was onto something there with MacDam, but it's never handed up, you're telling me. They've never handed up on MacDam.
0.
MacDam, Act Now. I'm so confused. I'm completely confused. That's intriguing. All right, before we go to Andy, I often use this phrase, but if I give you $100, what are you going to do with it in the race? That's you, Brett.
Oh, me? I thought you were saying to Andy. I'm so
sorry. Before I go to Andy, $100, what are you doing with it?
See, I don't even want to have a bet in the race. I know it sounds silly because I'm too confused, but if I was forced to spend my $100, I would have it on Act Now.
Straight out. Okay. Andy, we'll go to you. If I gave you $100, you'd probably eat 50-odd hot dogs, wouldn't you?
No. Yeah, especially if I put it in my pocket, walk away. It's a great race it is, but it's so sort of work out what's going to happen. And as Brett said, you expect that lead. But generally 2 runs to come now to find a form. Yeah, such a great race. Jan Bucking, catch a wave and probably going to get out to so yeah, a little bit tricky. I think and we'll try burn out early. was really impressed with Rock and Roll Do's last trial. I thought he went terrific. Better, great form, great race, and even in Fighter, just how she matches up with these horses. So yeah, I'm forced to have a pick. I'd probably go. I don't know. Probably better Eclipse each way for me.
Yeah, it is that race, isn't it? I mean, you could genuinely have 5 or 6 goes and miss the winner. But I'm going to go with Mac Dan. I think I'll have a crack at the front. And if it doesn't happen, maybe he can't win, but I've got to play him at the price. So Mac Dan for me. Let's go back to you, Brett, for this question. The second question, we'll go to Sulky first for the sponsorship plug. Combining the power of results and horse sectionals with Sulky app, you now have access to gate speed, swooper, ability and behaviour ratings. Never miss a trainer, driver or gear change again. Sulky app is a form guide revolution. Sign up at sulky.app. Joyful and Storm Rider are short in the market. So is it a safe play for multi-lovers? Brett, I think we chatted off air, and I think you're leaning towards saying, yes, that might be a good multi that may shorten as well as we get closer to start time.
I expect them both to lead quite comfortably and get an easy run in front over the middle trip. They'll probably get 61 halves, and they're both capable of running home in a 55-ish half. So it's going to take a pretty good effort for them to be upset. So they probably will shorten, correct. But I'm not a massive multiplayer as a rule. You could always throw in GWS because they're probably a better thing in the football. But
No, I don't agree with that whatsoever. And if you keep that up, I've got the ultimate power here. I can just boot you straight out. Andy, Joyful and Storm Rider, I think they'll both win. I'm confident with Joyful. I'm basically certain with Storm Rider. How do you see it? Is it a good multi? You can get around about $2 at the moment for those two.
Yeah, probably. I'd be surprised if Storm Rider got beat. Best horse in the race, and he's going to be one of our better 2-year-olds this season when all the big races come around, which are just around the corner. Joyful's first 2 runs, I think she'll find the top this time. Andrew's perfect in pink. She goes a lot better following. Her form in front's not great. She's going to be a dangerous horse if she's on the mark over that one. But I'm pretty sure it'll get done.
Yeah, okay. I think we're all in the same camp there. For Joyful and Storm Rider, Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes, quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Brett, Elle's mare is a ripper, but can she navigate the maze to land the matriarch spoils? Of course, talking about Alan McDonough's mare in Dream Maze. She goes around in race 6 on the card. Gate 7 v Rakero Rebel, the other heat winner. Interesting. I thought Dream Maze was the more impressive heat winner, but gets the trickier draw. Is it a race in 2? Am I missing one as well?
It does look a genuine match race, doesn't it? It really does. You got 2 horses on the up, so they've been placed perfectly for this series, and it can be dangerous to call a horse a 2-horse race, but gee, it does look like it. And initially I was leaning towards Dream Maze, but I really like the look of Rakero Rebel's first wins this prep. Yes, it wasn't as impressive last week, but Greg was quite kind to it at the straight. So it will be in front, 100%. Alan will 100% be sitting outside of it, boring it up down the back straight. So that, I guess, is like, will someone come from back in the pack and get past? I don't think so. I'm really totally sitting on the fence in this race. No help to you, sorry.
I'm the same. I was really hoping you would be able to help me there because it's just the way the draws have fallen. I'm just not sure. Dream Maze draws inside. Rakero Rebel will be pretty confident with Dream Maze, but it hasn't panned out that way. I don't know. I think your brother's pretty keen on Dream Maze. Andy, how do you see it? And if it's not one of those two, is there a surprise packet, something gone down the pegs or from back in the field that can spoil the party for those two?
No, I probably agree with Brett here. I think it is a genuine 2-horse race. They're both the heat winners. Dream Maze, as we know, went a lot quicker. Rakero well, went as quick as she had to. She's come back a lot better this time in, and it's been quite impressive in all her three runs. So going to have to earn it. I'm sure AMAC's going to be up outside it and sort of giving it to it the whole way. It's pretty tough to sit in the death and win over 22.40 at Melton. So, but she just seems to get the job done all the time, Dream Maze. Even when you think she's beat, she just sort of keeps finding. And I think she might have a little win court.
Yeah. So you'd lean just to Dream Maze, Andy?
I think so. And I agree with you. If the draws were swapped around, I don't think Carroll Rebel could possibly beat Dream Maze. But I think, Dream Maze, even though it's got to do it, I think it's more stronger.
So just 2 horses in the quaddie, guys, you'd think, wouldn't it? Thumbs up there. They're the only 2 we need. Yeah, I think so. Righto, the 4th and final of the burning questions here. Will Australia prove a wonderland for Tweedledee, or will he struggle first up in a hot Coulter Crown? Andy, we'll go to you first, Brett, again. This horse, race 8, draws the pole for Andy. It's that famous combination, isn't it? Andy Gath, Kate Gath, and Norm Jenkin. He trialled well at Tweedledee, but this is not an easy way to start your career in Australia. And just interestingly, it's a stand start over 2,760 metres, which they're pretty rare, and particularly at Melton. So it's going to be an intriguing race. But how do you see it? I think there's a stack of chances, and I think he's a touch under the odds, Tweedledee first up here in Australia.
Are you asking me, Tim? Sorry, I wasn't sure.
I'm asking you, Brett. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Yeah, it's a really interesting race, as you've said. I'm pretty myopic in my form research. My New Zealand knowledge isn't strong, but Tweedledee, just because of the nature of its age and the amount of starts it has, it's probably pretty exposed as one horse that's been thereabouts for quite a while. But I'm more interested in this race as a whole. The last 4 races, 4 times this race has been run, a handicapped runner has won the race. That's obviously and the last 6 of the last 9, a handicapped horse has won. AP Gath has won 3 of the last 6, by the way. So he's obviously knows what to do. But so for me, that just means I'm not afraid to select a horse that's not drawn the front. Usually in a standing start, I want to find the leader. And Tweedledee obviously has had 76 of 90 starts have been in the stand or something crazy like that, some crazy ratio. Yeah. So it and Sangreal both will absolutely ping that tape and be leader and behind leader. It's just a matter of at what point the other runners get into the race. And I'm very leaning towards 1 overall because I'm going with a horse that I've seen and know very well. And its standing start record is just extraordinary. So since Jess and Greg have taken this horse over, it's had 12 stands for 7 wins in 4 seconds. And 1/4 where I don't think that Greg would have driven it that way. Let's just say that.
Yeah, okay. So 1 overall for you, Brett?
Correct.
Andy, love to get your insights on Tweedledee. Of course, this is a new horse for your stable. As Brett said, I think it's 68 career starts from the stand, maybe 8 wins. So very exposed to the stand. He trialled well, but what sort of feels he given you at home? Have you been able to get a gauge on him? And secondly, do you think he can win first up here in Australia?
Yeah, he probably arrived over a month ago. To be honest, he didn't arrive in great condition. He was pretty light on, and yeah, he was a bit headstrong with and took a bit of time to settle in. His work's been nothing. We took him to the trials and we're a bit surprised at how good he saves us race day. He'd improve a lot in the trial. He loves the sounding start. He's racing off really big handicaps. He's a nice enough horse. He's going to win. He's not going to win him out of turn. I think 1 overall is clearly what I've seen, but on the way up, he's like 8 old or 7 or rising 8 or whatever. I think he's sort of done well. He's going to have a nice career here, but he's not going to win out of turn. He generally steps well, but he's never really going to dominate a race while he's here. But yeah, he didn't cost a lot of money, and I think he's going to do a good job for Norm. Yeah, he's a winning hope, but I'm a bit probably get out in the market, and I think up starting favourite.
A 1 overall will be starting favourite, did you say?
I think so. Start last run. Average in great order, and when it's in he's one of the better trotters going around.
Yeah, I was going to reference that run behind Olivici back in the care of Jess and Greg and 5 metres. It looks the right form, Brett. Well, that probably it's a good segue because we go to our best bets now, and the way you spoke about 1 overall, are we leaning that way? I know you're a bit like me. We like this card. We fancy this card, and there's a few bets we could have, or there's a few best bets we could play here. We just need to pull the right rein.
Yeah, I've got a lot of best bet nominations, but I've also got, in those races I like, there are other opponents that I really respect. And there's not many races, which is good for the card, I'm not overly confident, but I'm going to go with 1 overall on the basis of that last run last week, coming home in 27-2 it did, which is pretty impressive. And just its overall record, so I'll go 1 overall.
1 overall for you, which comes up. What race is that? That is the 8th race on the card at 9:37. Andy, interested in which way you head here? It doesn't sound like it's going to be Tweedledee. I'm pretty confident of that.
No, it won't be. I don't think it'll be any of mine. So I found it a little bit tough to find one, but I'm actually going to go with Hot Deal. Even though it's first up, I just think Bomperel's going really good, but I reckon if they use it early, it doesn't seem to go quite as good. So sticking with Dunny with Hot Deal.
Can you see my little grin? And you're not going to like this, Andy. My best bet comes up in race 2 on the program. Horse number 5, trained and driven by Aaron Dunn. Believe it or not, it's called Up Deal as well. So we're going together here.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Andy is obviously listening to you on the earlier show, Tim. Yeah. Apologies.
Right. SEN track, he's just tuned in and scribbled down some notes.
By the way, Tim, I forgot to say, raspberry is the answer. Raspberry. You never asked me. Raspberry.
Favourite fruit. Are they lolly raspberries or are they real ones?
It's a real raspberry, mate. Lollies you're talking about.
That. Well done, guys. Really appreciate that. There's the best bets. There's the questions answered. It's going to be a wonderful night of racing. As I said, this Westburn Grant Free-For-All is an absolute ripper. It's as good a race as I've seen for a fair portion of time here at Melton, and I can't wait for it. So that's all the insights from Brett Carroll, from Andy Gath, and from myself. That's been the episode of Burning Questions for August 18. Tune in to trotsvision.com.au on Saturday night, and I reckon it might be Jason Bonington back next week for Burning Questions. Cheerio.